LA This Week.
Emotions are running high over a planned homeless shelter in Koreatown. Can a compromise be reached? The story next. The first cable-stayed bridge begins to take shape, connecting parts of the city and bringing Angelinos closer to Mother Nature. That's coming up. And we'll take you to Memorial Day commemorations throughout the city. All these stories and more next.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Stakeholders in Koreatown have spoken. They're opposed to a temporary homeless shelter in one section of the neighborhood. Gil Reyes has reaction from city leaders.
We have a big task ahead of us, but I'm sure that we can do it.
Speaking to homeless advocates outside City Hall, Council President Herb Weston acknowledges the outrage he's received from constituents over a planned homeless shelter in his district. It would sit in Koreatown at a city-owned parking lot near Vermont and Wilshire. Opponents say they don't want it here because it's too close to schools and businesses. Opponents also say they were not properly consulted before the plan was announced.
We could have done this in a different way and not come to this kind of conflict.
Alexandra Suh of the Koreatown Immigrant Workers Alliance says people in Koreatown don't mind a homeless shelter in their area. They just don't want it here, within a 1-mile radius of several schools. 9,000 people have signed a petition against Weston's plan, but Suh is hopeful a compromise can be reached.
Each day is also an opportunity to come together and work together to solve this crisis.
Are you ready to see facilities in your neighborhood? Are you ready to show up and testify in other neighborhoods to make sure we get people off the streets?
To counter the surge in homelessness, Mayor Eric Garcetti and the LA City Council want to place at least one temporary shelter in each of the city's 15 districts, starting with Council President Wesson's district covering Koreatown.
All of us want to do this, but the council president said, me first.
Can we come together? Can we be united? Se puede? Se puede?
When we are together, we can do more. God bless you. Thank you all for coming out.
Outside City Hall, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
A new state law clears construction of homeless shelters with little or no community input. Despite this, opponents say they want City Hall to hold public comment, and if it can't, they'll consider suing. Well, more and more Angelinos are demanding green forms of energy, and more companies are creating it. The Los Angeles Cleantech Incubator provides these companies with mentors, resources, and a place to create. Anna Marcos joins us from its showcase event where those inventions are on display. Anna.
Yana, imagine a future where all the airplanes above us fly on renewable energy, where every window and glass surface on our buildings provides solar power, and where all the buses are electric. Well, the Los Angeles Cleantech Incubator Showcase has some of the innovators doing it. So let's go on this electric ride.
It's the smoothest and quietest bus ride we've ever been on. The passengers on the bus all head up renewable energy startup companies. They're just taking a little bus break at the Los Angeles Cleantech Incubator Showcase, which highlights what the innovators are creating to green our lives.
We all love clean air and we all breathe it. We all like to get rid of noise pollution. And getting rid of internal combustion and going to renewable sources of energy. Our bus is all electric and it's fully rechargeable within 10 minutes.
We are bringing a next generation window that doubles as a solar panel.
Yep, every glass surface on our buildings acting as a solar panel is a real possibility. And this guy's company will soon test an airplane flying a full flight on 100% renewable energy.
People want to get rid of planes that are polluting and noisy.
And almost everything apparently can be reused. Recyclable plates, recyclable water, and recyclable electronic parts are all helping to clean up the planet. LA's own Homeboy Electronics Recycling not only cleans the earth, but gives gang members and former inmates training and jobs.
We are taking a waste stream that is often overlooked and creating value where there previously was none.
And we always need new sources of energy. This company takes organic waste and turns it into electricity.
We're actually down in Puerto Rico right now, working with our partner Schneider Electric on microgrid management down there to help rebuild their infrastructure to have a more resilient utility grid for the next time when that storm comes around.
We're not just trying to create jobs and economic development, even though that's core to what we do. We're really trying to make Los Angeles a better place to live. We're trying to enhance the quality of life by obviously cleaning up the environment, reducing air pollution, reducing traffic congestion, but we want to give communities that are traditionally overlooked an opportunity to, be a part of all that.
It's a win-win equation: more green energy, more jobs, and a cleaner earth for all of us. And all these companies are at the forefront of the green revolution. I'm Anna Margos for LA This Week.
The Los Angeles Cleantech Incubator is working with LA to bring more green projects and businesses to the city. And by the way, you can take a tour of their facility to see all the ways green energy is changing our lives. Just visit laincubator.org. How do we get more communities of color to take part in the U.S. Census? Participation could mean more federal dollars and benefits for our region. Gil Reyes reports from a hackathon at the LA City Library that's preparing for the poll.
Creative minds try to figure out how to make the upcoming all-important count.
This time for the census is the first time it will be completely online. So we want to make sure that we are reaching those who are hardest to count.
LA City and County host a hackathon. Tech and data-driven problem-solving aimed at encouraging Angelenos to take part in the 2020 census, the first one ever online. Participation from all of us could mean more federal dollars for our area for services like Medicaid, and could also fairly divide congressional House seats to truly reflect our population. But if few people take part, those benefits could be reduced.
We want everybody in Los Angeles to go online and fill out that survey and participate. Make sure you get counted, because when you count, we all win.
This team of hackers suggests a new mapping system that pinpoints areas least likely to participate, mainly immigrant and low-income communities, and forming relationships with residents there to encourage them to take part.
This helps the decision makers at the Census Bureau to engage those community partners.
But one thing hackers have not figured out yet is how to tackle President Trump's new rule. Trump wants the 2020 census to ask if respondents are American citizens. This might discourage families fearful of deportation from taking part. Hackers and elected leaders have 2 years to figure out this problem. At the LA City Library, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
California is also suing the Trump administration in hopes of blocking the citizenship question on the 2020 census. The tally takes place every 10 years. Well, it'll be the first cable-stayed bridge constructed in the city of Los Angeles to connect two parts of the LA River. Rasha Goel has more on this connection that will bring people closer to nature.
Community members and officials are excited to finally see a bridge built over the Los Angeles River that will connect Atwater Village on the river's eastern bank to Griffith Park on its western bank. The North Atwater Multimodal Bridge will include two separate decks, one for pedestrians and cyclists and the other for equestrians.
You'll be able to take a horse from one side of the stables to the east side of the river. May seem like a short distance, but for many people it has been a huge gulf for far too long. You'll be able to cross that water bridge into Griffith Park and disconnect from city life for a moment and to feel what we are connected to, Los Angeles' natural wonders.
The 300-foot-long bridge will help link the equestrian stables in Atwater Village to 56 miles of horse trails in Griffith Park. This is intended to improve the area for equestrian safety, who must ford the river in order to cross it.
We're going to put in 30 steel piles, 4 foot in diameter, that will go down 40 feet in the ground. There's no way this thing is coming down. And 300,000 pounds of steel. If you ever wanted to buy steel, this would be the time right now.
The bridge has been in the works since 1998. Various funding plans fell through as the estimated cost for the bridge kept rising. Now, thanks to a public-private partnership and a $4.75 million donation from philanthropist Morton Lacretz, construction of the bridge is moving full speed ahead.
The bridge, the first to connect the east side with the Los Angeles River, is a crucial step in building that access and in building a Los Angeles that understands the interconnectedness of our parks to our health, our happiness, and to our communities.
The bridge is expected to be completed by late 2019. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The new bridge will achieve goals set in the LA River Revitalization Master Plan, a blueprint to restore the ecosystem of the river while expanding the parks around it, along with increasing public access. Google is partnering with LA for a series of web training seminars. As Gil Reyes reports, the sessions are expected to streamline city services through Google Apps.
LA City workers get acquainted with Google Suite. That's updated software on their office PCs, making work faster and easier if they know how to use it.
A lot of new features and Hangouts that you can utilize within an organization. Very beneficial.
Jimmy Chang from the city's Information Technology Agency. He and colleagues are in training, computer training through Google's Traveling Roadshow.
This is just open for city employees and the usage of Google Apps in the city. We don't have to go out and buy Microsoft Office products because all of that is given in your Google Apps instance. You have that at your fingertips. You have a word processor, you have a Sheets, you have a presentation product and calendar. You have a lot more things than I think a lot of people know. They normally just use it to send the email.
Google's training roadshows have made stops nationwide to help teachers, companies, and web developers. But this stop in Los Angeles is Google Roadshow's first specifically to help a municipal agency. The city's ITA provides computer support, public safety communications, and a range of other high-tech services.
The City of Los Angeles are active Gmail users. We have over 20,000 employees who use Google products here. Our ability to improve the way we use our calendars, the way we send our emails, the way we build sites or forms and use Google Drive make us that much more effective at the City of Los Angeles.
At City Hall in downtown, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And for LA City workers who missed the seminar, no worries. More training days are scheduled in the downtown area soon. The Cuban American Music Festival delivered the salsa to downtown. It also brought cigars, a twist on vegan food, and some car culture history. And as Gil Reyes reports, U.S. veterans proud of their Caribbean roots.
Cuban superstar Pedro Calvo from the legendary group Los Van Van headlined downtown's Cuban American Music Festival.
Super happy. Everyone's super cheerful, dancing, having a good time.
And we love salsa.
The celebration in its second year was co-organized by United States Army Colonel, Battalion Commander, and dentist Diana Zashel.
My parents are immigrants to this country. They were proud Americans, and they're proud from their country where they came from. So I wanted to honor my mother who passed away, about her culture and how rich it was, and with the music and the dancing and the food.
Some 42,000 Cuban Americans reside here in Los Angeles County, but this is the only music and arts festival dedicated solely to that community. But make no mistake about it, this event isn't just for Cuban Americans, it's for everybody that resides in Los Angeles.
I love it. Outstanding. With a cigar in my hand.
There were even cigar-making classes. On hand, shop owner Raul Rayner. He broke a Guinness record last year by rolling the world's longest stogie, 332 feet. That's longer than a football field. So what are the current embargo rules for Cuban cigars, arguably the best in the world?
So you can go to Cuba and purchase cigars and bring them back and smoke on personal consumption, not a problem. It's not considered contraband. However, commercial reasons, you can't really sell them.
But what we could sell were Cuban-style churros.
We make different toppings, like the coconut rum sauce one. It's the coquito one, so it's infused with rum for the Cuban festival.
Also classic Cuban fare like papas fritas, but with vegan chili.
We basically have just taken traditional Cuban recipes and we've just adapted them.
So I make my sofrito, all my seasonings, all of my sauces are the same recipes my grandmother would use. The only thing we've changed is the meat.
Photojournalist Parvez showed us how Cuba's cars remain frozen in time since the U.S. trade embargo. Cuba's newest American cars are from the 1950s and can only be found in big cities like Havana.
But the further you go away from Havana, the cars get older to the point where cars disappear. So for example, if you go to Trinidad is 8 hours away. In Trinidad, cars start disappearing, or cars are into 1920s cars. And if you keep on going further away, cars disappear, and then it's horse and carriage.
LA City Controller Ron Galperin honored event promoters Yambu Productions and La Plaza de Cultura y Artes.
And who doesn't love Cuban culture? And Los Angeles, which has the second biggest population of Cubans outside of Cuba and outside of Miami, what a great testament to this city.
The City of Angels, where all cultures are celebrated. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And the beat goes on as organizers are busy planning their Festival of the Americas concert, celebrating all Latin cultures. That festival will take place in August. How prepared are Angelenos when it comes to fire safety? Rasha Goel has more on how city leaders are ensuring residents are prepared.
That smoke alarm is a small investment that potentially could save a life. But officials say you'd be surprised by the number of residents who don't have an active smoke alarm.
Research shows that almost 250,000 people in the city of Los Angeles do not have working smoke alarms in their homes. And it's so important to get into those homes and find out what they need.
And that's why Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez and officials from the Los Angeles Fire Department and My Safe LA, an organization promoting fire and life safety, are emphasizing the importance of public safety.
We are going door to door and block by block to start connecting with our residents to make sure that they're aware of all of the services that we are here to provide and making sure that they are safe in the face of a number of the emergencies that we could be confronted with.
Since 2014, MySafe LA has installed more than 35,000 smoke alarms in homes all over the city of LA. That has led to a 40% reduction in residential fire fatalities.
10 years leading up to 2014, on average, 21 people a year died in fires in Los Angeles. And during the last 4 years, we've seen that come down to 12. And that's a really terrific step. We'd like to see it down to 8 a year and then down to 0 at some point in time.
So the message here, make sure your smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors are working.
We all know what happened in the Creek Fire. We know what happened in the Tuna Fire. Those were tragic to our community, but I still believe the emergency preparedness that all these partners demonstrated facilitated greater public safety.
And it all begins in your home. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Fighting, fists of fury join forces in support of traditional Chinese martial arts. Gil Reyes tells us why from LA's Chinatown.
You could say they're fighting to keep an ancient art form relevant.
Sifu master grandmasters of at least 40 different styles. And it's just an absolute miracle for all these fighters to be in the same room so peacefully.
They're actually fighting together to keep Kung Fu alive and kicking and punching in Southern California. This dinner in LA's Chinatown awards pioneers in the Chinese martial arts community and raises money to help keep their schools operating. That's the mission of the Traditional Chinese Martial Arts Federation of Los Angeles. The group formed last year.
In the spirit of a friendship, the unity, and the respect. That's our mission statement.
Well, events like this is helping to hold us together. The MMA became very popular. We need something to help our survival. Because what's happening right now, we're getting overcome by some of the sport arts, some of the wushu arts, even out of China. And what we're trying to do is carry the ancient art.
Not just for self-defense, but for good, heart-pumping exercise, too. LA City Councilman David Rue says he's trained.
The entire city council and the mayor joins in your celebration, and we hope this event only gets larger and larger every single year.
Keeping the fighting spirit alive in LA's Chinatown. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And that was the Federation's second annual fundraiser. More money is coming in to help fix our roads. Some middle school kids make school safety a priority, and a local park gets some much-needed upgrades thanks to the community. All this in Citybeat.
Mayor Eric Garcetti gathered with transportation leaders at Union Station to highlight more than $1.2 billion in funds awarded to Southern California transportation projects. The funds will go towards repairing California's crumbling transportation infrastructure. Funding will support highway and road maintenance, increased public transit, and construction of local priority transportation projects.
I want to see my daughter. I want to see my wife. I don't want to be stuck in traffic. All of us have a place to be, and we're driving over potholed roads, crumbling bridges. We don't have enough transit options. SB 1 shows a way forward.
In collaboration with State Farm, the Mayor's Vision Zero, and Los Angeles Unified School District, Los Angeles Rams punter Johnny Hecker and Rams cheerleaders surprised students at Columbus Middle School to announce the school as the winner of the Street Safety Hero Pledge Contest, after its students submitted the highest share, 86%, of pledges to be street safety heroes as part of the Safe Routes to School program. Students take the pledge to be a safe pedestrian and remind family and friends who drive to be aware of people walking and biking on our streets. Councilman Jose Huizar and community members gathered to unveil $700,000 worth of improvements to San Pascual Park. Community suggested improvements include a new playground, outdoor fitness area, a basketball court, ADA walkways, and a refurbished parking lot. Phase 2 of the project will add new restrooms. Councilmember Huizar's office held 5 community meetings with the San Pascual Neighborhood Watch to discuss park safety and instituted the improvements to make the space more active.
It only happened because the community is active, involved, and engaged.
The summer vacation season began with a patriotic salute to fallen service members. Gil Reyes has more from Memorial Day commemorations on the east side and in Canoga Park.
Within LA City, few communities have as much small-town flavor as Canoga Park. And it's here in Canoga Park where a wreath dedication for fallen service members takes place every Memorial Day.
It's a very patriotic part of Los Angeles, part of this country, and you'll see it. You'll see it in people lining the streets and cheering on, all the floats that go by.
What follows is Canoga Park's Memorial Day Parade. Service members, flag wavers, and local leaders make their way down Sherman Way for the biggest Memorial Day procession in California. Tens of thousands come to honor military men and women who died while serving.
Because a lot of them are forgotten. A lot of people were forgotten and still are forgotten.
Because they gave up their life to give us freedom. And I think that's an awesome thing.
It's also an opportunity to say thank you to those who are alive, who are veterans, who need our help, so many of which are living on the streets of Los Angeles. And we have an obligation in the memory of all those who have fallen to make sure that we take care of all of our vets.
Over on LA's east side, people honor the dead at El Sereno Memorial Monument. For decades, Northeast LA has sent many of its young residents to war. Many of them did not make it home. For Northeast Councilman and first-generation American Jose Huizar, it's a time to honor those who died for freedoms many of us take for granted.
Not all people in the world can have freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom to congregate, and freedoms to march and protest against our own government. And the opportunities that we have in this country are tremendous.
Things to remember while enjoying summer vacation with friends and family. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Other commemorations took place at the LA National Cemetery in Westwood, the World War II Memorial in Boyle Heights, Forest Lawn Cemetery in Hollywood, and at the LA Coliseum. We'll join Councilmember Paul Krikorian for a hike and get a free tree. Get inspired with a tour of some ranch-style homes from the 40s, and come out for a block party and go home with a new 4-legged family member. All this in this week's Things to Do. Nature is calling. Join Councilmember Paul Koreatown, Assemblymember Nazarian, and Tree People for a Saturday morning hike in beautiful Coldwater Canyon Park. The first 50 people who show up will also get a free tree. It all takes place Saturday, June 9th at 9 a.m. at Coldwater Canyon Park, located at 12601 Mulholland Drive in Beverly Hills. To RSVP, visit paulkrikorian.org/treepeoplehike. Author Chris LeCather will take attendees on a stroll in Valley Glen of a cluster of special ranch-style homes built by William Melanthon in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. His singular brand of cozy, charming homes, which became known as the Melanthon Birdhouse Ranch Home, so called because they featured a cupola or dovecote built prominently into the roof. As a special treat, one of the homeowners will open up their home for a tour. Light snacks and beverages will be offered. Water will be provided to all attendees. Make sure to wear walking shoes, sunscreen, and bring a hat in case it's hot. The tour takes place Saturday, June 9th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the corner of Addison and Ethel in Sherman Oaks. Whether you have 2 legs or 4 furry ones, this promises to be fun for all at the 2nd annual Glassell Bark Community Block Party and Pet Rescue Adoption, sponsored in part by CD1 Councilmember Gil Cedillo. There'll be plenty of fun family festivities, including a watermelon eating contest, free professional family pet photos, free microchipping, free spay-neuter vouchers, low-cost vaccines, a doggy fashion show, human barking contest, live performances, and more. You can also enjoy live entertainment, local vendors, and food trucks. The block party takes place Saturday, June 9th from 12 to 3 p.m. at Glassell Park, located at 3750 Verdugo Road. For more, visit glassellbark.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.